Low one. I hope everyone read the disclaimer at the beginning. It's very important that you read the disclaimer. Sorry I'm a little late to the stream. Me and Noelani were just talking about how banning corporations from buying homes is only going to keep housing prices higher. The idiots in office sometimes, well, they're not. It's actually pretty smart, to be honest. They want to keep housing prices higher for longer so that the voters vote for them. The old people that make up most of the voters will vote for them again because their housing prices are higher and they have more money in their pocket. But I would not be taking the share right now, by the way. I know there's a swing low that was taken. It's just, this isn't really like, this could have been, this long wick could have been a chance that it occurred. Like, I don't really see this as like the pattern I look for there to be like a short move in the opposite direction. So I'm not gonna look to take that sweep. It's not significant enough as like a signal that there is buying around here, or a significant amount of buying. NFP came out lower than they thought. So unemployment rate. It says here it was supposed to be 4.5. It came out 4.4. But on Forex Factory, it says the previous one was 4.6. And then it was supposed to come out at 4.5. And then it went at 4.4. So I don't know who's right. I think the last non-farm payrolls was 4.6. Yeah, it was 4.6. So I don't know what they're talking about. But it's supposed to be 4.6 here, trading view. Anyways. Yeah. My point is, it reduced to 4.4. It beat expectations. So I just see this as very bullish for the market. I think you had an initial reaction here. Now think of this. If you're trying to buy, if everyone reacts to news and they try and buy, then it makes sense why you'd see this move here, because this absorbs all the orders from all the people trying to buy. And people that say that the market's rigged, they could sell or buy anything anytime, move the price in any direction they want, stupid. No, it's true. They can. Anyone can call up Amazon or a bank and say they want to buy $50 million of Amazon, and then the bank is gonna like be able to predict how much the market's gonna move by, because they put in the order. There's a market cap. What they can't tell them is where they're gonna get filled. Right? I mean, if everything makes sense, and we go under the assumption that the markets are completely random, then if someone buying $50 million worth of Amazon would need a counterparty that's adding up to either another rich person that's also wanting to sell 50 million, or dozens of people, maybe thousands, millions of people with small amounts, all willing to fill him at the price he wants. What are the odds within that day? It could take months for that order to get filled. So what price does is it does exactly this. It has initial buyers that soak up liquidity, that soak up the sellers, runs out of sellers, so price spools, and algorithms drive it lower, so people sell, and they get in on this fun, while the person that really wants to buy, the few institutions that are buying this news, get to soak up all that supply, all those sells into their long position, and then this is the other way around, they're unloading their balance sheet and they're selling to the market. It's just the way the market works. The market goes up and goes down. It's a trend. Up, down, and it's just the mechanics of it. it's rigged basically. And what I do is I just have rule-based models. I basically try and take advantage of the fact that it's rigged when I can. And it's not perfect every time. Obviously, I lose sometimes, and that's gonna happen to every system. But the point is, it repeats, and if it repeats enough, and I set up my risk to reward well enough, then I can extract income over a large set of trades. It's that simple. Anybody that says day trading is rigged, you're gonna lose money, it's just, I think they're ignorant. I don't care how much money they got. I conveniently returned to midnight open. How convenient. Omar, I don't know if you heard, I just preached. No, Lonnie yesterday met somebody at work. He was I think he was checking in for a car, and he managed money, like hundreds of millions of dollars. And he said that you shouldn't do day trading, that he could call up a bank at any time and buy 50 million of Amazon and move the price up, and the bank would be able to tell him how much it's going to move by. But also, day trading is when you hold position throughout days. So, I mean, take advantage of algorithms on a short time frame. It's different. It's scalping. Alright. He should call me up and give me 50 million. Call my bank. Deposit 50 million in the student checking account. This trade would have hit if I had taken it, but again, I didn't like the way it swept. It's not really in my rules. That would have been like this, 2.60R. I just don't like it when there's a wick like this, because to me it doesn't really look like it, went in the opposite direction. Like this. This move from low to high never occurred. It looks more like it just went all the way down. So I don't like that. Now, for me to take a trade, it's going to be a little tough. I need short-term high or low. So either capital move lower, we can run up above this high, or we can run all the way back down here. I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, I made 2.3K. Well, technically I didn't pay taxes on it, so didn't really make that yet. Because who knows, somebody might call a bank and decide to buy $50 million of, I don't know, any company. And then the market just goes, they call up banks, say, I want to buy $50 million worth of Amazon. And the market goes up and I'm in short and I lose everything. I get margin called. You never know. Every position I take from here, someone could be calling up a bank wanting to buy $50 million of one thing, and I just get taken out instantly. Model 2025. But Model 2025 this year, I don't know how it's going to work. I think today is one of those days where it's probably going to work really well because of the news and the surprise. But I feel like it's not very. This model, baby food, is probably going to outperform it. 34 hours for baby food. No. I don't remember. Let me check. That was at the beginning of the year, though, when we were kind of still in like a crisis period. Like people were not sure about policy. And there were wars and Trump's tariffs, and he was coming into office. No, we did 51R in January. Baby food did 34R. Well, we didn't do that. The model results, like back testing results. In reality, I wasn't trading exactly the same rules. I was way more selective that month. So I wasn't taking as many trades. It was similar rules. It's just for most of January I was kind of using it as like a testing phase, so I wasn't going all in and everything. Man, I love this keyboard. Okay, so this is kind of like an impulse lower. It's good. Move lower. Now, if I can see like this, I would go short. Otherwise, yeah, it looks like it also may just go like this, and then I can go long. People don't understand that same concepts of any business applied to day trading. You can have an unprofitable month day trading the same way you can have an unprofitable quarter in a business. It's literally not any different. Day trading is probably the safest and most scalable business in the world. I would be careful with safest though, because it depends how you trade. Everyone's different. Some people, like I have a friend who grades his trades, right? He has like 5 sort of different things. Some of them though are discretionary, like bias. But some of them are more like volume analysis, equilibrium. A lot of these are sort of discretionary, and some of them are more like a candle pattern, are more like mechanical. But basically, he grades his trades from 1 to 5 based on how many components are involved in the trade idea. And to him, if there's like 4 or 5, he'll always take the trades with maximum scale. But if there's like a 2 or 3, he'll either skip or not take them with as much scale. if it's like a 1 or a 2, he'll probably skip. If it's a 1, he'll definitely skip. So it's like, you tend to run into more problems with hesitation, regret, doubting yourself. You could look back in the hindsight and say, yeah, I would have thought that. I would have made this decision, rather than just having a strict set of rules and being like, okay, this is what I'm going to look for and this is what I'm going to react to. And it's not about thinking what you should do. It's just about waiting for the market to tell you what to do. It's kind of like what I was doing in NLP when I would look at trends, or 2025 model when I would look at the range rule and there would be a certain range that was formed and I'd be like, okay, this is bigger than the average range. Or when I looked at the two ATRs, my indicator that I have here, and it shows up in red and it says don't take the trade. But some of these are more mechanical. Like this one, I programmed it to make it mechanical, and it's just, so some traders, they just feel better when they're away from a mechanical perspective. And even though it's very few traders do that, I feel like it can allow you to have a higher winning streak. But very few traders are actually able to do that well. Because basically having different components where you're discretionary on and you decide how to scale, it can allow you to de-risk when volatility is weird and it's shifting and it's not a good environment for your model, or avoid losses, and then risk more when you're on winning streaks. But again, I don't trade like that because I already have enough going on in my life. I don't want to worry about making decisions. I just want to react to what the market shows me on something that I tested in history, and I accept that sometimes there's going to be losing streaks and it's not going to be good. I'm going to lose money. And it's like I'd rather look at it that way than always try and have a 100% win rate or make the most amount of money, because I'm still going to make a lot of money. Again, this is scalable. I can just risk more. If I want to make more money, I don't need to try and always win. I can just get more money and risk more in each trade. But yeah. Okay, we might run up above this high. Just kind of been going back and forth. Pretty voice crack. I voice crack every stream. Swear. One day, if I ever have like lots of people viewing me, I'm gonna say, if anybody catches a recording of me voice cracking, I'll pay you $100. Yeah. But it can go wrong at any moment. That's why you gotta make sure you stay locked in. Locked in like North Korea, as a wise person once said. Sometimes wise. Most of the time. Oh no. A voice crack compilation is crazy. Hey! Okay, that we have a swing low here. I just feel like the market is so constrained. I'd prefer it come down and take out the low though, because if I had to have an opinion, I think the markets are gonna be very bullish today. Apparently, the Supreme Court is gonna rule um on whether Trump's tariffs were legal or not. And I'm just confused. How could they be illegal? How could Trump's tariffs be illegal? I feel like this is just one of those things where they have to rule on it. Like they probably rule on so many other things that don't make the news that Trump does. Requirement for price go down, take the low is my Model 2 filter. That's good. Oh, also another thing is United States Navy SEALs recently seized an oil tanker Russia was using. They've been doing this for a while now, like over 10 years. They've been using like foreign small countries like alien flags to sail tankers. Like I don't know, some African country, they'd use that flag and then they'd pretend like, you know, they're transporting oil. That country's transporting oil and it's really Russia. And the United Kingdom caught sight of this, and then the Navy SEALs recently, I think this week, infiltrated one of those oil tankers, and now like Russia, they're condemning the U.S. They're pissed, and they warn that they're gonna, you know, there's tension right now. They're warning a spike in tension. So they're not saying like we're gonna attack you or anything. It's just that like they're warning them like, you know, don't do this. Apparently, internet and phones are now cut. There's no service in Iran. But yeah, this oil tanker situation, I was watching. My dad was watching a video and I overheard some of it, and it's actually kind of scary. Like, who knows what could happen there? Anything can happen right now. The tensions are so high between Russia and the United States, and like no one's talking about this either. Like, if anything is really gonna break, I think it's gonna be that. Like, I don't know. W Navy SEALs, but I don't know. They should just let Russia. They should just remove sanctions on Russia. Like, work with them, you know? Find a way to work with them rather than put sanctions. But I don't know why they put. I guess it's just the United States is threatened by Russia, and they have completely different political ideologies. It's like I don't know if they could even work together. But what I want to see is what chat has to say about the Supreme Court ruling. The odds of a ruling against a tariff regime are relatively high, like 70-80% for some of the tariffs. But the Supreme Court has the final say, and it could uphold part of the tariffs or limit the ruling to future enforcement rather than invading everything immediately. The president may have exceeded statutory authority and impose these tariffs under a 1977 law, the International Emergency Economic powers by declaring trade deficits and fentanyl trafficking national emergencies. Critics say the IEEPA doesn't explicitly authorize tariffs or taxes, only certain emergency economic controls. Some complicated language that I don't really understand, to be honest. I feel like a lot of this is, I don't know. I have no idea what that most of that stuff means. It's not like it goes into legislations and laws that were created back then. It's probably the reason why people don't really know. It sounds super complicated, to be honest. But what I think is gonna happen, what the wouldn't be surprising, is the government finds a way to delay the ruling, and then it only gets ruled on like in a year, where like the government now has more time to come up with a solution, or make the debt of tariffs so big to the point where it would cripple everything to refund it, something like that. I don't know, and then eventually people might just forget about it. Yeah, it could be years before the government ends up having to pay for this, the tariffs, if they are illegal. Oh my god, price is just doing this thing where it's just staying in a range. The initial volatility, probably from 830, kind of created this down up price action. We've just been accumulating inside of this. It's like it's slowing down, just getting less and less volatile. How typical. Oops. Get out of here. Oh. Is this still your Model 2 filter? If it runs down and takes the lows, Omar? God. Might as well do this. It's not doing anything. There you go. No, this is stupid. What the heck? Because it's not doing anything. That's why I'm zoomed in. It is if I was fully mech, but I don't like this too much. This is not what they mean by analyzing price. We have to look at the deep into it, You gotta take a closer look sometimes. This is more like it. I like this sweep. This is 2025 model. Except, I don't know, with all the wicks and stuff, I wouldn't say that's a clean sweep. And if I do end up taking this trade on a 2025 model, I'd take it with much less leverage. But I'm not trading 2025 model right now, so. Okay, we swept. Now I just need an inverse fair value gap. I'm going to draw my position. 20-point stop. Ay, why did you do this? Why can't you just... Thank you. Ugh. Watching every tech, indeed. Dang. Ugh. I'm just waiting for an inverse fair value gap to close above. Okay. Seems like this could happen right now. No, Lonnie, I need a countdown for the candle. For the candle close. Candle closing in 25 seconds. 15 seconds. 10 seconds. I might get stopped out, but because it's a tight stop, so it is what it is, though. A 4.35 hour trade. Dang. That means I'll make 1.5k on Apex and 1.7k here. What? I'm making like 3,200 Canadian, no, US dollars. No way. If it hits. Almost 4,400 Canadian dollars. If it hits. We don't know if it'll hit, you know. I could always lose my ass. Probably, I wouldn't be surprised if we like consolidate a whole lot. I mean, we did reach the low end and went underneath all the consolidations, so yeah, it could have a really nice run, but it's gonna run into this consolidation. So I want to see if it just blasts straight through this. I wouldn't be surprised if it just rages higher the rest of the day. I could take partials here, like 80% partials, and leave 2 micros running to like a higher target, because it seems so bullish that I think it's gonna. This is like the beginning of a much bigger move. I know that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take. Nah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that because it's gonna mess up the way I log. Oh no, it's not. I have it set so I can log partials. Oh, that's new. Alright, and then I'm just gonna leave. I'm gonna add a market order. I'm gonna go for yesterday's high. Maybe that'll work. But I'm gonna set an alert for the current day high, and then I'm gonna tighten the stop. Is what I'm gonna do. So I'm hoping we just have one huge trend higher, and you know, if it doesn't work, I'm only like throwing away 2 micros, and that would be 87 times $2 times 2, $348. I put my stop to break even, which is, I mean, I'm still making $1,400 at the end of the day. Like, I don't really care about that. Oh my god, I'm up 3k on Apex. Hey, Omar has the same model. Now, you know what? I'm not gonna be an idiot. I'm just gonna take everything off. I don't know. I just want to follow the rules. But I think probably I could hold it. I don't know. I just want to follow the rules. What the fuck? That's just crazy. And it could have another entry. Well, I don't see an inverse fair value gap here actually. That's just crazy. Like, I'm just thinking, I'm trying to take that in. Time to log the trades. So yeah, I could have like had a second exercise, and one day when maybe next year I'm gonna do partials, because I think I could make a lot more money with partials. The SBJ is German. I'm not getting an FBJ. It's stupid. Why would you raise your standard of living just because you make more money? Just because you make more money doesn't mean you should buy more things. You should instead keep money to the side. What if I have a bad month and I just lose all the time, you know? It'd feel good to have money invested. Like, just before I even consider buying anything like that, I want $1 million invested. If I had $1 million, I could find a way to make 10 to 15% a year and produce a salary of 100 to 150K, reinvest half of it, and then use the other half of it to spend on expenses. And I could live without having to work in a country like Panama. And then I could continue trading with money that I already have. And then that money I could spend on stupid shit. But first, I need to receive the passive income so I don't have to rely on trading. Because you'd be stupid to say, oh, I'm just going to trade my whole life. What if the market, I'm not even talking about you losing, but what if the market just decides to take a shit? And I don't know, everything's shut down. Everything gets shut down, for some time. See, amp, you always gotta remember to take off the stops. Let's see, like 9/11, plane crashed into a building, market was shut down for a day. What if that happens for a month or 2 months? You don't ever know. So you don't ever want to, or you can have a losing year even. So you gotta like focus on leveraging your money when you can, making lots of money, and then being smart with that money. Okay, we got in at market at at 676.5. We got out at 759 and 3/4. We got 83 points and a quarter on Apex across 3 accounts. So 83.25. Hey! There you go. So in total, is this with after commissions? Oh, before commissions. Open profit was 740 plus 999, 2,739. Okay, 3,807.79. Okay, wow. In 4 minutes. My Top Step account is just dormant. I just realized I made 1,500 on Apex already. Oh, he's sending me Lamborghini pictures. I'm not buying it. Look. I mean, it's nice, but why not just rent? If I really want to drive this, why not just rent it? Because if I rent this, the next week, I can go out and rent this. Look at that sexy car. I mean, just look at the interior. Imagine, like, you're with your shorty in the back. You got an AI driving it. Like, it's just like, oh my god. The stars. You just sitting there looking at the stars. Alright, behave. Where are you going to be eating? If everything's shut down, you're going to be worried about where you're going to be eating? SF90. What about... underrated, but an Escalade. Let's be honest. This is a sick car. Imagine renting this, and you and your boys, you all pull up to a club, hopping out of this. My point is you can experience a lot more cars if you rent rather than actually owning them. Like you could rent an SF90 and then one day and then an SVJ another day, an Aventador the next. Or when you go on vacation. Why would you pay insurance if you're traveling all the time? See, I knew I could have held this to this high. I could have taken a partial here, and then probably I could have taken the other partials up here. What the fuck did he just send me? A Toyota? No, bro. Enough cars. You just ruined it. It's a Land Cruiser. I'd rather like a Toyota 4Runner or a Bronco or a Jeep Wrangler. Or the Mercedes G-Wagon. Actually want a Mercedes. Low-key. No, Lonnie said, what the hell? Okay, so hold on. What's my challenge at? What? I almost passed. So, no, Lonnie, all my challenges are at 25,600. Means $80 risk per trade. It's like 4 more wins in a row. But one of them I'm risking $200 on at a time. I'm risking $200 on one challenge at a time instead of $80. And all the other accounts, live and challenge, I'm risking $80. The one I'm risking $200 on, I'm at 26,189.62. So basically, one more trade and I passed, which means that could be 4 accounts next week. That's crazy. $3.9K minus 600. I made $3,300 in this week, and I didn't even trade it a full week. I missed out on a winning trade on Monday, and then I wasn't able to trade Tuesday on my live account. Like, what the heck? I could have made a 30% gain on the account in 1 week. Just crazy. You took a trade on your live? What the heck? Okay. How much did you make? Okay, not bad. Since when we do take external range like this in the morning session unusual? I don't know. It's not unusual. I'm not surprised because of unemployment rate. First of all, idiots on Instagram were all saying, "Oh, markets are gonna crash. The Supreme Court is expected to rule against Trump's tariffs," when not knowing that the government can do anything it wants. It can delay ruling forever if it wants to. And also, NFP made a clear move lower, swept liquidity, 930, same thing. After we kind of consolidated and stopped short. Like, if the markets were already expecting for the Supreme Court ruling to fail, why wouldn't it have just kept dumping yesterday? Why did it stop? Like, if someone was supporting the market here, and it just came right back that support. But it did so, leaving behind the traces that the market always leaves behind when it wants to reverse and go the other direction. It needs to spool and go in both directions so that it can fill enough orders for the bigger pockets to actually get their positions in the market. So yeah, somebody could call Amazon and be like, "Oh, not Amazon, a bank. I want to buy 50 million of Amazon or sell 50 million." And then the market moves lower. But before it moves lower, it's going to have to go up a little bit. Unless everyone's selling, then it's going to crash. And then for that to happen, for the market to just randomly just move in one direction before it shows the signs that I look for to get into a trade, people getting into the market need to be willing to accept pain. That means there need to be an overwhelming amount of people wanting to get a price. The fact that the market has to reprice lower and people are okay with slippage, people are okay with getting bad fills because there's emergency, which at that point it doesn't matter where they get filled. They just want to get in or get out. And that only those conditions are the conditions 2025 model thrives in. It's kind of like today. I mean, today was 2025 model from a 5-minute perspective. We had a nice body. The wicks, there were some wicks, but the move from this low to this, I don't know. To be honest, it wasn't really that clean. This is clean though. So like this would have been 2025 model from this low to this high. This would have been the clean sweep you wanted to look for a 2025 model, which is why like I was willing to hold it. I wanted to hold 1 micro and sell it at the high of the day, like around here, and then another micro. Well, I was gonna set an alert, so if it hit it right away, I wasn't gonna sell, but I was gonna come back to it later and see whenever it did hit, what did price look like? Because right now it's looking so bullish. I wouldn't be surprised if we have a smaller tracement or we consolidate a little bit. But we continue going higher, closer to a premium around here. I mean, that would have been a huge trade. That would have been like 325 points instead of 80. That would have been an extra $1,200 on top of that, with inside that $300, so an extra $900. But I mean, it is what it is. It's not a big deal. However, also remember that this trade could have easily been stopped. Like, price could have filled me a little higher. It could have wicked down Imagine if I got filled up here. If I waited just a little bit longer, it would have came down here. How much would you have made if you'd taken it on live? What are you talking about? It's 1,738.5. What it says right here. This is amp. I've been trading live the whole week except for Monday and Tuesday. And then I also trade on Apex. So I made 330 times 3. So 1,000 on Apex. Yes, I took it on live. I have I sent 5 deposits to AMP and they held 2 of them and probably the third one too. Because I found out I didn't include the account number in the deposit comments. So they froze it because of that. And they're like, hey, you're making a lot of deposits and we don't have the account number. To prevent further issues, we need to make sure that this is you. Can you include your account number in the comments? I don't know why they didn't hold the first 2, but usually I never include my account number. And I guess it's because I'm not making many deposits, so and they're small amounts. Yeah. The Jews. Anyways, I'm gonna go play basketball now. So hope everybody has a good day. Good luck with your trading if anyone's still trading. There could be a short here, but I don't want to be on the chart to see. I mean, not really, actually. There's no short because it took a while already, like with all these wicks to form an inverse fair value gap, so there wouldn't be a short. At least not until we make a new high and then a new gap that we can inverse. But I don't want to stay and find out. I'd rather go play basketball. It's like 10:40, so I'm going to go out now to the gym. And yeah, I'll be back next week. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Hope you have a good week trading. And if not,